how many showed up? How many were there, guys?
I would estimate. I didn't take a head count. I'd say 55 to 60 if I had to guess. I know some kids had to get on the road to get back home. Some guys had class and that kind of stuff. But it was great. They were wonderful. They were attentive. And you never know how those things go till it's done. I chose them. They didn't choose me.
Right.
I mean those words, and it's my job to win them over. And by the end, all of them were in there. We were dabbing it up, exchanging phone numbers. I was so proud so many of them showed up, and they even stayed around after the pictures and said goodbye to me. That's what this is. It's a player-driven business. It's about relationships, connecting, and when you do that, the success will come. The results will happen.
And that must have been exciting. Before you go out there, this is my team. This is going to be my first team as a head coach.
Well, it truly is. And just like I said about
college,
my first high school quarterback I ever had, he showed up today. It was no different. Him believing in me 20 years ago. Those guys that came today, they're already thinking something's happening, and that's how you get this thing going.
Why was it the right time in your career for you to make a jump to head coaching?
I was made to lead. I was made to be in that chair, and there's a lot of men, there's a lot of players that believe that, and I knew I could develop a staff and players to recruit, and I've got a great place to recruit too, and it's just the way the Lord made me. I feel strongly about that, and it's just the chair I'm supposed to be in. And I don't say that arrogantly at all. I just know that's kind of what my role is, and that's why I'm here.
Other than watching the Alamo a couple of times, what are you doing or what do you plan to do to get to know San Antonio?
I met a lot of people today, and I'm going to trust a lot of people. I mean, Dr. Compost has been amazing, and she's going to lead me, and I'm going to follow, and I'm going to do whatever that is possible, from the military to marathons to whatever the city of San Antonio needs me to do. I'm going to embrace that, and it's not for any other reason that I love people. I'm so excited to be in the 7th largest city in America. The multicultural, I mean, those pictures a while ago and the comments they were making to me, who wouldn't want to go help? Who wouldn't want to give back? And that's what team building is. All about team is, little bitty me, big we. It's about the team. So we're going to give back.
And you haven't lived here before, right?
I've not. I've lived close, but not.
So, I mean, I know the head coaching job was the main incentive, but was there something about the San Antonio community that really made you want to come here for this city?
Well, the Texas High School Coaches Association, we come down here every 3 years. So, Coaches School. So about 15,000 of us invade your town. So my entire life, we've been at the Riverwalk, and we've been to concerts at the Alamo Dome, and we've been, obviously we've not lived here, but we've embraced that culture, and we want to be here. So I felt very comfortable about it. My wife is extremely excited to be in Central Texas, South Central Texas. So, I mean, I couldn't tell you how excited we really are. So that's what our plan.
When did you see the movie? Last night, night before last? Or?
No, it was. I got the call. Tuesday. I got the call on Friday night about 10 that Dr. Compost wanted to see me on Saturday. So I went to Ross's and I bought a $7 tie and a $2 pair of socks so I'd match. And I got back in on my phone. I watched the Alamo. I wanted God to give me something that I could come in there and impress her with. And
was it the Billy Bob Thornton or the John, the new one or the old one?
Well, to be honest with you, because I wanted to make sure I was on point, I've watched just the scene 7 times, and there's so many different versions of it. I didn't want to misspeak, but the last one I read before I went up there, it said 179 out of 180, and I guess he's the one guy that told the story because we know what happened to the other.
And you've seen the Alamo before, right? Have you been here all the times you came to school?
I've got 3 children. I mean, when you live in Texas, man, and I wanted to do something, with the Alamo. It's kind of our hashtag, but I just thought it was so, it's just so. I think the draw the line is just something that's going to be. We can go with it. And I'm going to take ideas, your ideas, and we're going to keep rolling with it. Let the players join in, and with my deal, it's going to be, the culture, the Texas High School coaches, City of San Antonio, the players, and the community. That's what we're going to draw the line on. But it's unending where we can go with that. I'm sure President Amy will have ideas, Dr. Compost, and I'm going to listen. I don't have all the answers. That's one part I do know. I know where I'm weak. I know where I'm strong. And I'll surround people to cover up my weaknesses. And where I'm strong, I'll go flourish.
Jeff, you mentioned you could have been happy staying in Big Sandy forever.
Yep.
You could have been in Gilmer for as long as you wanted. That decision when Charlie called you and wanted you to come to the college game, how tough was that, and kind of how do you weigh your rich history coaching high schools and doing the college thing now?
I had many opportunities to leave along the way. When you sit in a chair, the same chair, all those college coaches come through. We become very good friends. I had great players. They all wanted my players. They all realized I was different, and they wanted me to come work with them. But I just didn't want to leave my kids at that time. We were teaching Sunday school, Little League baseball, upwards basketball. I was being a dad, man, and heck, they named the stadium after me. I mean, who wants? That's pretty good job security. And in my business, there's not real good job security, right? So I really didn't want to go. I didn't want to. I told my wife I wasn't going to do it. I reached over for my phone to put it down. A song by Toby Mac came on, and it's a song about it's greater than you, and it's about how God literally took somebody out some warm water and took him to some uncomfortable water because he had greater things for him in store. And I've had a rough grind. I've recruited my tail off, and I'm known for that, and I'm known for developing players. But there's been many nights where I wondered where God was going to end up taking me to use me in his influence, and I know now. I know this is what his plan was. I'm convicted about that, and I listen to Toby Mac daily in that song just to remind me that I know this is much bigger than me.
Do you still consider yourself a high school coach at heart?
At heart, I always will be. I take absolutely great pride in that. I am a Texas High School Coaches Association member, 30 years now.
But you'll always be a high school coach at heart, right? Probably.
At heart, I will.
Yeah.
You heard Coach Rutledge. That's what the game's all about.
Yeah.
That's what the game's all about. And we're going to keep doing the things I've learned there, and trust me, we'll be fine.
How old are your kids now?
Jordan is 26.
He's the one with the Saints?
Yes, sir. Jake is 22, and JC is 19, my daughter. We started young. I'm only 37.
Yeah, right. Are you 50 or 51? How old are you? 50?
I don't even know. I really don't. Tell the recruits I'm 37.
So you've obviously started at new jobs several times, but what is it about going into this job as the head coach of a college program for the first time? Is there anything you're doing different to prepare?
Any job you take, you've got to learn a little bit on the run. And I don't care. Each one you take, it's just a little bit. There's going to be things I'm going to have to learn along the way, there's no doubt. But I am more prepared for this job than I have been for any other job, because think what I've done. I was a head coach for 15 years. I've been the associate head coach for 5 years at 3 different places. I've had to be the lead recruiter on 3 different staffs to go in and get the deals closed down, to get those players in. We had the 5th leading recruiting class in the country at one place I was at. We had the 5th again. I was a recruiter of the year. At the next place, we were top 20. At the last place, we were top 20 in recruiting. That's what this game's about. So, yeah, I'm ready, and it's about recruiting, and that's what we're going to go do.
What was your involvement at really all of your last stops in college when it comes to on the field and scheme? I mean, what exactly do you plan to bring to the table from that perspective?
I've done 3 things already. I've had the tight ends, I've had the wide receivers, and I've had the running backs. So I've coached quarterbacks my entire high school career. The only thing I haven't coached is the offensive line on that side of the ball. Believe it or not, my brother's always done that for me. So you can imagine how close I was to that once you're on blood doing it. So I've been involved in special teams, every aspect of that as well. And the main thing I've done is the recruiting. And you know what associate head coach means, right? You do everything the head coach doesn't want to do. So guess what I get to do now? Delegate that and go do the things I'm made to do.
Yeah.
So was your brother on your staff at Gilmer?
He was for all 50. Well, actually, he was at A&M for a while, and then he was with me for most of that career.
What's his name?
His name is Kurt Traylor, and I did not say my brother's names in that press conference. Wow. Christmas is not going to be good.
And as a high school coach, you know how this is a special time of the year right now. You coach so many playoff seasons and stuff. We're in the semis now. We got 3 teams around here. Wagner's one of them, here in San Antonio. Bernie champion. Falls City, little bitty school over here. You can relate to that excitement around 2 weeks before Christmas, and you're almost to the.
It's the best time of the year. I mean, it's the best time of the year. I mean, it's always a December to remember. That's what you tell your kids. It's no different at this level. Yeah. We can talk about character and culture, and it produces results.
Yeah.
Don't ever mistake it. The fun's in the winning.
Yeah.
There's a reason they keep score, and that's powerful.
When it comes to coordinator hires, I mean, what sort of direction are you looking at? What kind of coaches are you looking for to kind of build out that staff?
you'll be excited. It'll be names you'll recognize, and you'll be excited about. A lot of experience at different levels, and I'm just not ready to release the names yet, just because they're getting out of contracts at their current places. They haven't said goodbye to their players yet, and each one of them asked me out of respect for their current players to just keep their names close to the vest right now. So it's not that I'm trying to duck your question. It's just that I'm trying to be sensitive to players. Because when we leave, I don't know if y'all saw last night, I mean, the one that killed me was saying goodbye to Rakeem Boyd. And I recruited him from Houston Stratford, Independence Community in Kansas, and that boy doesn't care about anything except being coached by me. And I don't know if you saw the picture, you can see in his eyes. And he had been balling. That's all I could do to get him to take a picture with me. That's the part of this business that people don't realize how hard. We understand, we move around a lot. That's tough, saying goodbye to your players. So out of respect for those two coordinators, I'm going to hold that close to the vest.
How many coaches have you got? Lisa said about four or five.
Five are on the road today.
But you've already they're going to be with you.
Yep, and we've got a couple things.
More on the way.
Yep.
Talking to some of the coaches, high school coaches from East Texas that you know pretty well, they mentioned how there's a level of player that doesn't quite get the Power 5 offer, but are really good players. Can those be the types of guys that you can bring here and kind of turn this into a destination for those types of guys?
Projecting is everything. That's one of the questions Dr. Campos asked me. And analytics is huge. They need to be running track. I want to know what their 100 time is, what the 200 time is, triple jump, broad jump, long jump. We got to get them on our campus. Those high school coaches will get them on our campus. When they come on our campus, we get to put them through a camp. When you put them through a camp, you get to see what a 40 time is, a pro agility, a vertical jump, a broad jump, how they catch football. I mean, I love my buddies. I love them all. And I'll buy tea on the Riverwalk when y'all are down here. But they're going to tell you they're 6'4" and they might not be 6'2". They're going to tell you they're running 4.44 and they might run a 4.7. They're trying to help their kid. They're just embellishing it slightly. When I get them on my campus, I know how tall they really are. We're going to make mistakes. We all make mistakes. We just can't make as many mistakes. So because of the relationships I've had, I got the answers to the test. Those guys take care of me. They're going to get the kid on my campus. They're going to take care of me, and it helps you in recruiting. And guess what? When it's time to sign, they're not going to just make them come to me, but they're going to sure give them a heck of a lot of incentive to come play for one of their buddies, I can promise you.
So you have a
Schematically-
lot of recruits, obviously, in Texas. You could fill your whole team with only Texas recruits, but a lot of the bios that I was reading about you yesterday credited you with recruiting Michael Dixon at Texas. So are you going to continue to be looking all over the world?
I just found, I had a contact that had a contact, and Charlie just told me he wanted a great kicker. And I trusted somebody. We watched the video when Mike and I talked on the telephone, and we text and did all that stuff. And you can imagine what the time lapse is different. It's way different when you're dealing with somebody from Australia. So he hit me up. He might be a Hall of Fame punter with the Seattle Seahawks. He hit me up yesterday, and he's willing to do anything for us. That's what it's all about. And did I know that was going to benefit me? I had never eaten a whole fish in my life. I'm country as can be. I eat fried catfish, right? I'd never eaten one. So Michael and I are at the official visit. That thing's looking at me, and the eye's looking at me. And I'm like, what do I do with this, Mike? And he's like, Coach, you don't eat that part. You just eat this part over here. I'm like, all these bones and stuff in it? I mean, I'm not trying to be mean, but just get some catfish. So Mike, if you were to ask Mike about that, that's probably when I had him. I probably had him then.
Tell him to respond to my Twitter DM then. I tried to
I'll do that. You remind me to get on Mike about that.
Schematically on offense and defense, I mean, what is sort of your vision for what you want to do on both sides of the ball?
And I'm not trying to avoid the question again. I got to look at our talent, and the secret to being a great coach is getting players to do what they do well. And I got to get in there and study it and understand it a little bit better. And that's also the beauty of coming from a Texas high school football coach. We don't get to recruit our kids. You play with the ones you got. So whatever they can do, you figure out what they do and you do that for them. That helped me on my journey along the way. And it won't be any different. It's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. I'm not scared. We're not going to be playing some kind of coverage and soft. We're going to get after it. And on offense, it's going to be pushing the envelope. And it's going to cause President Amy and Dr. Campos, they're going to be nervous about some of the things we're doing.
Are you planning to, not any names, but are you planning to bring any Texas high school football coaches onto your staff right now?
2 for sure, and I think 5 or 6 have before they got into college football. So we'll be heavy Texas, there's no doubt. And all of them have recruited the state and have great respect amongst the high school coaches in the state.
Two directly from high school? That-
2 directly from high school.
Yeah.
Schematically, can you do the same things that made you successful at Gilmer, or is the college level too different?
Well, think about that. People make such a big deal about that. What access do you have when you're a Texas high school football coach? The greatest minds in the world want you on their campuses at all time. There's nothing we get. Do you think that college coaches share information with other college coaches? No. Since I've been in college football, I don't think one of them shared one thing with me. When I was a Texas high school football coach, every single offensive coach I went to see, playbook, practice scripts, whatever they could do. Why? They wanted my players. So what we did in high school is only copied from what they were doing in college. So there's no difference. It's just you're doing it with a different, if you don't win a state championship in Texas, you're getting fired. If you don't win one in college, you're getting fired. It's the same pressure. Superintendent's under the same pressure. School board members under the same pressure. It's the same game. It's just played by much bigger, faster, bigger stadiums. It's still ball. Ball's ball, played by players. Players win game. It'll always be that way.
Jeff, can you turn the Roadrunners into a winner next season?
He wouldn't have hired me if he didn't think so.
When you go through your experience at Arkansas, I mean, a lot of the things that you've talked about are stuff that Chad Morris tried to do as well. I mean, what have you learned from that experience, and what are you going to kind of bring from that experience here to try to make sure that that doesn't happen?
Well, I thought his social media plan was fantastic. I thought it was fantastic. What our department did, and to sell the brand. When you're getting beat that bad and you still recruit a top 25 class, there's some social media going down and a lot of hard recruiting, right? I thought his recruiting footprint was brilliant. How he chose certain areas to be in. We're going to be very strategic in where we recruit. We're going to be smart. We're not going to go, use your common sense. You get on the road 18 days. You got 10 coaches. So you got 180 days. How many schools can you see in a day? We want to spend an hour with each coach. So I can't expect my coaches to be in more than 8 schools a day. Well, what's 180 times 8? It's right around 1,600. We can't be taking on more than 1,600 schools. The beautiful thing about that, as you can tell by my phone, it doesn't matter where they are, they're going to call me. So now we can spot recruit. So even though I might be in there meeting with Dr. Compost and we're trying to budget and all this stuff, and she said, now wait a minute, you told me you were gonna go over here. I said, yeah, but I got a buddy that's got he's got it all the way out here in the Panhandle. And he says this guy's a player, and I need to get on a jet and get there to see this kid. I know all she's done so far. Go get him. Let's go. That's what we're going to do. So we need to strategically plan 1,600 schools that those 1,600 coaches go, I know who recruits my school. He cares for me. He listens to me. He's going to take care of me. So we can get maybe one player from him in 10 years.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thank y'all.
Good luck.